This broad coalition of parties have joined together to support a popular alternative candidate, Senator Xóchitl Gálvez. Okay?
That's news to me.
Now,
I have no idea she was popular.
because nobody in Mexico would even try to allege that. And this is what I'm talking about with kind of like basic journalistic due diligence. Okay, you interview someone, but one would imagine that Lise Olson wrote this introduction before the questions started. So do 5 minutes of Google before you publish this. Do 5 minutes of Google. I found this right here, if you can see the screen, in 30 seconds. Now, even if you don't speak Spanish, translate the page. Okay?
You don't need to translate numbers. I think they're clear as day.
You don't need to translate numbers. So it says opinion and knowledge. What is your opinion of Claudia Sheinbaum, who is the candidate for Morena, right? The center-left candidate. She has a 50% approval rating, favorable. It's a cognate with English, not that hard. A 34% desfavorable or unfavorable rating. So she's plus 16, right? And this is from El Financiero, which is a conservative publication. I deliberately chose a conservative publication. This is what a conservative publication was saying. Other publications would say even more. So according to El Financiero, Sheinbaum has a 16 plus 16, right? Let's go over here to Xóchitl Gálvez. Xóchitl Gálvez, the red line is unfavorable. She's got 50% unfavorable ratings.
Scary thing for her is that it went up. It went up. When she was first introduced as the opposition candidate, one of the things that they used to try to shield themselves from criticism that she was an unpopular candidate is that, no, the country is just unfamiliar with who she is. Claudia Sheinbaum, she's been in the national spotlight. She has the help from the president who talks about her all the time, but nobody knows who Xóchitl is. As soon as they get to know her, we'll see those numbers go up. And in fact, the opposite has happened. The more they get to know her, they realize they don't like her. Because why? Because she isn't a representative of the popular sectors of this country, despite these slick marketing campaign efforts to try to, sell her like that to the public, especially the international audience. There's this Al Jazeera report when she was first selected. I'm not going to say elected, selected as the opposition candidate.
Right? Because there was no internal democracy in her selection. Right?
No. And one of the words that the correspondent uses is that she's given a shot in the arm to a moribund opposition. Has she? She is not a popular figure. She is somebody who is seen as very much a representative of that old regime, of those old political parties. Where did she come to fame?
Upon governments, right?
Fox's
and Calderon's. Right?
Fox invites her to be part of his cabinet. Suddenly she has some national spotlight. But since then, politically, she basically hasn't really achieved much. She tried to run for governor in Hidalgo, lost. She ran for borough mayor here in Mexico City, in a middle-class area of town, Hidalgo. She won there, but then quit, despite promising she wasn't going to leave for another political post, because she was offered a basically free Senate seat as a member of the party list to go sit as a senator for the PAN. And that's what she's been up to basically since. Can there really be said to she speaks of any initiatives? No. She's mostly known for her theatrics, which don't actually sit that well with a population that is more politically engaged than ever, right? She, last year comes out in a dinosaur suit saying that one of López Obrador's reforms was a throwback to the Jurassic era. And sure, she got some laughs out of it, but that's not a serious candidate. The population wants somebody to actually speak to their needs and speak to their aspirations. And somebody who's doing shows like that, dressing up in a dinosaur outfit, chaining herself to a seat to prevent the normal order of business from proceeding, this stuff that people were familiar with, they didn't really like. And then the more they learn about her background, the shady deals that she was engaged in while in office,
this is important.
All of these
things. A series of scandals, right?
It's one after the other. And even if she was free of scandals, it's gaffe after gaffe after gaffe on the campaign trail.
Yesterday she said López Obrador had tried to privatize the private sector.
That's right. That was the most recent one, right? She was caught plagiarizing in her final presentation. And her answer was, oops, I effed up. He. Like, quite literally, that was her response. We could maybe find that clip later and share it with you in a future episode. But that gives you an idea of why these numbers are the way they are. But we haven't even gotten to the poll numbers. I'll give it back to you so you can talk about
the actual and of course, the scandal about building a house without permits, just totally shirking the law, shoveling contracts into her businesses, profiting off of her public positions. That's just old-fashioned Mexican politics dealings. And so it's undermined her attempt to prove, show herself to be the clean outsider candidate. Just part of the same process of graft. So let me go up here to the overall poll numbers, because this is what the right wing hates the most. Claudia Sheinbaum, and this is a conservative estimate, has a 22-point lead over Xóchitl Gálvez, a 22-point lead. Other polls have her up at 30 points. 30 points, right?
Yeah. In fact,
the
one of the
elections in June, Xóchitl Gálvez isn't gaining ground. She might, but as of now, she's not at all. So to go back here, and for the Texas Observer to suggest that Xóchitl Gálvez is a popular alternative candidate when she's trailing by 20 to 30 points and has a net minus 18 approval rating, what the hell? What the hell? What kind of journalism is that? You're just doing stenography for the Baker Institute.